Huzzah, Rangers. This is Philip Harris, of course, here with the Jacks Rangers show. I've got Ross Parlon here with me. Ross, you got your beer. I got mine. There it is. Let's crack it open, brother. Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah. So I am rocking with a Baxter Lager Road. This is a full pint. This is a big boy.
Look at you, staying faithful to the team. I went old Yingling. I'm not sure if a lot of people have heard of that.
The oldest brewery in America, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing that on the label when I was drinking it in college. Like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. No, I just came to New England, Massachusetts a few years ago. My boss turned me onto it one night. We were out late working.
Yeah.
He said, let's go to the bar. He's like, you ever try this? I said, nope, and fell in love. That's all I drink now.
There you go. Do you have any social media presence that you would like to plug, or you want to skip over that?
No, we can skip over that.
All right, cool. So where are you from?
Originally from a small town. Massachusetts native will know this. Norton, right next to the Xfinity Center, or Great Woods. Those of us that grew up down there. But now I'm living right around the corner from Union Point in Holbrook. So
very
nice quick drive to the stadium.
Perfect. What is your origin story with rugby? How did you find rugby?
I knew this one was coming, and I was kind of laughing to myself because you guys had these nice romantic, you and Spider, and Dave had these like nice romantic stories like, oh, I found it on the internet, I found it in college. Well, mine's not as eloquent.
That's fine.
Me and a friend were drinking late one night, woke up hungover looking for a matinee Bruins game. And we were too lazy to get up and get the remote. And rugby was on NBC that day. I think it was probably the Dubai Sevens tournament. And I was like, this is pretty cool.
Okay.
So then I fell into I think like the next year was like pro. Remember the Pro League started and just been a fan ever since.
That's cool, man. I mean, any way people find it, it doesn't, whether you find it from like somebody says, hey, come try out for the team, or you find it on the internet, you find it on TV. However we get there, man. It doesn't have to be some sort of beautiful story. And, as long as we're all a part of this, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
So you were talking about pro rugby. As someone that is, somewhat new to rugby, what elements drew you in and kept you interested in the sport? So you survived through the pro rugby days as your first toe in the water there.
I did. I hear people complain about the rugby network, and I was like, man, do you guys not remember Pro League? Those terrible games on Facebook Live, the disaster that was.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but for me, it's always been, I think, because I have a strong football background. I started playing football. I put on the pads like I think 6 or 7 years old and played all the way through high school.
Dang. Yeah.
So the big hits was it for me. I'm a big defense guy, so that's what did it for me.
Very nice. So pro rugby, let me just kind of beat on that dead horse for a second there. Wow, what a train wreck that was. As our first American league, it's so embarrassing to think about now that we have Major League Rugby where it seems functional and not a mess. But you remember how they had their, their official clothing or uniform provider, kit provider, and it was a bicycling company?
That's right. Yeah. And the shorts were very clearly bicycling shorts. I was like, you didn't even try. Like, I remember, I think it was Ohio Aviators. The only reason I remember because they were in the World Tens. I guess the guy still owns the rights and got a Tens team together.
Right.
And I just remember seeing those uniforms. I'm like, those are a thing, I guess, if that's a choice to make. And it was just like these bicycle shorts, and it was just like one color and then like the red bar across the chest, and that was it. I was like, oh man, so we put no effort into this.
And also, I think Ohio was the furthest east team. I mean, do you really want the state of Ohio representing like the east area?
Yeah, the East Coast when you have like New York, Atlanta, Boston. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, what a mess it was. You're a founding member, right?
I like to call myself a fake founding member. I bought a single season ticket last year for the home opener because I was like, man, I love a lovable loser, but I'm not going to spend money on a lovable loser.
Okay.
After we saw what happened out in Vegas, I was going to go to the home opener, but the pandemic happened, and I did buy my founding member ticket this year. So.
Gotcha. Well, let's not forget the first game that the professional in the professional league, the Free Jacks whooped New York's ass, and I was there in Las Vegas, and just screaming my head off. I've said this story like 3 times. I'm gonna say it again. I was sick. in Las Vegas. Me and my girlfriend had flown out just for that. Like, we did a couple other things, but I mean, the main focus was rugby, obviously. And there was not a huge turnout. If you were watching it on television, there might have been 20 of us there, it seemed like. And I was pretty lit off of Dayquil and a couple beers. And I was standing up shouting. And, finally Mags and Eric came over and were like introducing themselves as the owners and the CEO. They're like, hey, great job, man. We can hear you from all the way over there. I'm like, yeah, woo. It was so much fun.
Yeah, no, that's
But
funny because at the home opener this year, I got there nice and early. I was like, all right, there's going to be no tailgating, but I want to make sure I get to my seat and everything.
yeah,
So I ran to one of the porta johns, and all of a sudden I see Mags just coming with a ladder over his shoulder. I'm like thinking to myself, and he's like, oh, hey, what's up? I was like, hey, Mags. And like it was nothing. Never met the guy before a day in my life. I'm like, man, what are the odds that you see like Robert Kraft or John Henry? You would never, ever see them doing something like this. And then he comes back.
Yeah, I thought I saw John Henry at a Red Sox game once. He was over in the monster seat area. I was like, is that John Henry? It looked like a really nerdy dude that you could just break in half. I was like, that must have been John Henry, but who knows? It might have just been some random person.
I doubt he's slumming in the monster seats. You kidding me? He's probably sitting in his box somewhere.
Oh my God, he was probably on his yacht watching the game.
Yeah, there you go. That's better analysis.
Yeah, Mags is just, the coolest guy ever. You know what I mean? His social media presence is on point. And, as Spider told the story that, he saw him putting together a picnic table prior to the game. I mean, what a guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And then, after he was done with whatever he was doing with the ladder, you see him coming back out from the south end, and he was just bringing in, like, the stanchions for the, the try line. So I was like, again, what owner do you see this doing,
No. Was he at that time when he was doing all the stuff that you saw him doing? Was he wearing like the horse outfit at that time?
Not yet. He still had the Vermont hoodie on, the Vermont style hoodie. So
he's great, man. Let's see what else we got here. What have you been drinking lately, and what are you into? Are you into craft brew at all?
I mean, not really. I mean, through and through, I'm a lager guy. So if a craft brewer makes a lager, I'll try it.
Right.
There was a good one I had a few years back in my hometown at Bog Iron Brewery. It's just a great little spot. Like this hole in the wall. It's like behind like an old Ace Hardware or something. And it's like can't see it. Like you can't see it from the main drag. But then you just drive around back and it's like this small tap room. And it was really cool. It's a good little spot. But,
very nice.
Yeah, I'm just lager through and through, not macro or is that the proper term for large macro or micro brewery?
Yeah, I think Spider teach me about that. Professor Spider had mentioned in the previous one that macro and micro. Micro is the small one, macro is the big one. Let's see here. What is more New England, Dunkin' Donuts or clam chowder?
It's a tough one. Let's see, I'd probably go clam chowder just because it's been around forever. But don't get me wrong, I love my Dunkin'. That's where I go every morning before work. But it's got to be clam chowder, especially in the summer.
I said on a podcast that has not been released yet that Dunkin' Donuts puts a beating on my wallet, man. It's like I go there every day now. I'm addicted. When I first moved up here, I'm not from here. I've been here for 11 years now, but when I first moved up here, I'm like not into coffee, didn't grow up drinking coffee. I drank energy drinks in high school, and the donuts suck compared to Krispy Kreme. So I had no real, business going there. But eventually I got, coaxed into drinking coffee over the years, and now I go there for meals. I would hang out in there if I could, if COVID wasn't around.
Yeah, I used to bounce in the city, and that was like the only thing open. Like when we got out of work, It was either a pizza joint where all the college kids were, no thanks, or Dunkin' Donuts. So,
and I was saying in a previous podcast, it's even like their evil empire is stretching far beyond New England because there's actually one in my hometown now, or
really?
right beside my hometown in North Carolina. Yeah, they're everywhere now.
Got to give someone a Starbucks a run for the money. I mean, I know Dunkin's high price, but man, it's nothing like Starbucks, man. You got to refinance your house to go to Starbucks.
That's yuppie coffee, as we call it down south.
Yep.
What match day improvements would you like to see for the next home game?
I was really looking forward to a beer garden, not a beer stand with a cooler of like clearly like a dozen beers. So, I'm not a heavy drinker, but like I'll have one or two. Well, I only had the option to have the one because we shut it down like 30 minutes in.
Right. So. Yeah. A lot of drinkers in rugby, so they got in there and tore the place up.
Yeah. So, I mean, and plus it'd be nice to have like, I don't know, get the kids involved after COVID, obviously, do like kind of like a kids play thing would probably be cool. So I could bring my nieces,
For sure. Favorite player on the team?
It's a tough one because, we're coming off of just watching the San Diego game. Dougie Fife was at it again, but
my boy.
I'm gonna just have to stick with the original. My number one has always been Bodine Waka.
Okay.
And a fun little story about that is because sometimes you can hear it. I don't know how people listening and you have a slight Boston accent, not as bad as Spider, but I have one. And the first time I said his name, I was going through names on the roster, muttering to myself while I was sitting on the couch with the missus, and she's like, "Oh, there's a Walker on the team," and I just audibly laughed. I was like, because anywhere else in the country, that would be the assumption. Okay, his name is Walker, Walker.
Right.
And I was like, no, it's Waka. And I had to literally show it to her. And she's like, man, he couldn't have picked a better city. And we just kind of laughed about it. So I got to go Waka.
My little brother in my fraternity in South Carolina, he's from Pembroke, Massachusetts. So he lives down south now still, but he had listened to the podcast and he said, I cannot listen to Spider's accent. He's from this area. He's moved down there, but he said it was like nails on a chalkboard. He just can't stand it. It's a very unique accent,
Oh yeah, I'm just fortunate that I at least make an attempt. My parents, spent a little bit of money to make sure that I didn't have a speech impediment and didn't have a thick Boston accent. But as the days wear on, we're recording this pretty late at night, so. And we're drinking a little bit, so that doesn't help either.
Oh yeah, exactly. When I drink, my southern accent comes out just like I'm back in North Carolina.
Right.
All right. So every time I've asked this, there's been one single answer. Best hair on the team.
I know everyone say Kyle, but I gotta go Billy. The fro is iconic. The fro is iconic.
And it is very high.
I mean, you can spot him. They were lining up for scrum today. I was like, oh, There's Billy right there. So,
mullets are becoming a thing now. It's just not some hillbillies that look like me and talk like me that are wearing them. It seems like everybody that wants to be cool will have mullets. So, yeah, I kind of understand the argument that Kyle, even though it's great hair, doesn't have the best hair on the team. I disagree. I think he does have the best hair on the team. But I understand the counter argument. I totally do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not opposed to mullets. I was rocking the long hair and I pushed it back so it kind of looked like a mullet back in the day. But yeah, I got to go Billy. That fro is just iconic, man, and it's still staying up all match. Like that takes some effort.
For sure. Yeah. So Kyle no longer undefeated on the best hair on the team with this question. All right, who is your MVP so far this season, and why is it Douglas Fife?
Oh man, I was hoping coming into today. I was like, I'm feeling it for Waka. Somebody else is gonna step up. But there he was again today. What, another one? Still leads the league. Oh, two. So still leads the league. I mean, the man's just doing things that it's unheard of. People are gonna be remembering this season forever.
Yeah, when he was signed, I said, this is the guy. He is going to come into this league and have a huge impact. And by God, he already has. And it's so great to see. I'm going to start calling him Dougie 2 Tries. I want to see if that catches on.
I like it. I think it'll stick. But the one thing that's scaring me is, we get to the Olympics, we're going to see him going against his owner, Nate Ebner. Then it's going to be tough to root for him. It's going to be tough. Do you cheer for the owner, or do you cheer for the MVP of the team? It's tough.
Is it confirmed that he's going to the Sevens?
I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but I don't think Scotland's done anything with their Sevens team. I'm sure they're just having guys work out, but does he really need to work out?
I just had a total brain fart. So for the Olympics, Scotland, Ireland, not Ireland, but Northern Ireland. I'm about to cause an international incident. Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England, they all form that super team for the UK. So I wonder, I would have to think that he's not going to be a part of it if he's here with us. I just have to believe
that's unfortunate, man. I'd love to see him on the international stage like that.
Yeah.
Plus, like I said, him versus Nate Ebner, the owner of the team, it'd be great old time.
It would be an interesting storyline for sure. What team or teams do you dislike in MLR and why?
I'm going to stick with Spider on this one. The Giltinis, man. Just it's just so, everyone's like, oh, it's very LA. I was like, I get Miami Vice vibes from the uniforms. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
It's, and like Spider said, how are you going to have your kid wear that jersey into school? He's going to get dress code the first minute he walks in the door.
Yeah.
Just, and, I question how much they spent, if they spent under the cap, because there's just so many studs. I think there's someone needs to look into the books in LA. There's just so many studs on that team. There's no way they all took a hit to play together in MLR.
I'm gonna have Mags on the show at some point, and I want him to have like one of the whiteboards in the background so he can kind of break down the salary cap and how LA is exploiting it. It needs.
I mean, they need to give lessons. They need to give lessons to pro teams in every league.
Somebody give me a pie chart, some stats. I need to see it because I've thought of that. I haven't said it on the podcast, but how are they doing this?
Right. And it's just one of those teams. Like I said, it's the Yankee syndrome. If you're a front runner fan, you're going to vote for them. But if you're someone who's a local guy, stick with your local team.
Absolutely. Again, LA, the hatred is real and it's justified. All right.
But like you said in one of the other podcasts, it's just one of those teams that got it out of the way. Okay. We didn't have any preseason. Let's write it off like that. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Other than the Free Jacks, what other pro sports team do you support the most and why?
My number 2 to the Free Jacks is the Patriots all the way.
Okay.
I have friends that are season ticket holders, and I pay an arm and a leg to buy the tickets off them every once in a while. So it's just they're a great team, great organization. You can't hate the Crafts. I mean,
right.
They're good owners. They're trying to do right by the league, try to do right by the team. So it's not like you have someone who's Jerry Jones who's like, oh, I'm bigger than the team. I am Dallas. Right. I am the Dallas Cowboys.
Right. Yeah. I actually saw for the first time the Patriots play in a preseason game in Brady's last year. So I actually did get to see Brady play before he jumped ship. So that was pretty special. Yeah, I love the Patriots. I love all the Boston's teams up here. And of course, I do have my Carolina roots. If you see here, we've got the Hornets and the Hurricanes. Maybe one day I'll take a video and show you everything up here, all the fans. But I've got all of the Boston teams and the Carolina teams up here proudly representing. Yeah,
nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with
man.
that.
I'm a hybrid.
It's a funny story about all 4 major teams. Back in my security bouncing days, I've actually stepped foot on every playing surface in New England now.
Oh, okay.
And with the ice for the Bruins, it was an early turnaround. Like they how they do concerts at TD Garden.
Mm-hmm.
I was there really early in the morning, like 6 or 7. They hadn't put the wood down, the 2x4s or whatever they use, the plywood.
Yep.
And I wasn't paying attention, and I was telling my guys, okay, this is where we're gonna be stationed. All of a sudden, I just stepped, and there wasn't anything underneath me. It was just ice, and I slipped and fell flat on my butt.
Oh no!
And everyone's like, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah, just bruised my ego a little bit." So, on the plus side, I could say I've stepped on all 4 major surfaces in New England. On the negative side, the last one wasn't so eloquent.
That's a good story. All right, before we get to the one-word association, I see the flag in the background. Is that the one that you had custom made?
That is, yeah. Want me to grab it and pull it up for you?
Yeah, sure. And I want you to tell me the story behind that. What was your thinking behind that? All right, folks. For the folks that are doing only audio on the podcast, Mr. Ross here is grabbing the flag and bringing it.
All right. I don't have my earbuds in, so I hope you hear me okay.
Yeah.
I put on it, Nerf or nothing. I was just looking for a playful slogan that kind of had the team on it, have that child remnants to it.
Okay.
We all remember playing with the Nerf ball as kids. And then I was thinking maybe it's New England rugby, football. I don't know. Whatever people want it to be.
Okay.
I think it's going to be something fun to have in the end zone.
I love the colors.
Fun for people to look at.
Yeah, it looks great. So for those that might not have heard him, it says it's Nerf or nothing. And of course, the Nerf is New England football. New England rugby football. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I got that right. I had a brain fart for a second, guys. There we go. Yep.
We'll just leave it down.
Back right now.
We'll take it down for Saturday's match anyways.
There you go. So you'll be there for sure, right?
Absolutely.
If you see me
right
there,
behind the rubs up.
Yeah.
Upright. So
If you see me, come by, shake my hand. Or,
absolutely.
well, that's probably not COVID safe. We'll do the elbow.
There you go. I like
Okay.
it.
All right. Before I get you out of here, Ross, one word association. Mags.
Legend, man. Legend.
Love that. Okay. Josh Larson.
Big old SOB.
The Eagle.
Oh man. Kyle being Kyle.
Okay. Union Point.
Right around the corner. Great spot.
Nice. Dougie Fife. Douglas Fife.
MVP of the league.
Yeah, now we're talking. All right. Rooney. Ugh.
Gross.
Absolutely.
Just gross. I mean, you got to give Scott his due. He's doing a great job promoting that team, but the big guy's doing his thing. But that New York Boston rivalry is real.
It's real. It's real. And I don't want to have too much of a hot take here, but a lot of people with rugby, and it's fine, they're like, no, we shouldn't, poo-poo the other teams, or we shouldn't boo them, or we shouldn't heckle them. I don't know about heckling per se, and when the other team shows up, but let's be loud and proud, and let's say, we're New England, they're New York, we don't like them, they don't like us, and that's the way it is,
Yeah, absolutely. And just like other people have mentioned on other episodes, I was at that Rooney get match versus Mystic. And it was weird because it was people, you could tell it was a lot of families and a lot of people that really didn't follow the sport there.
Right.
People were like, "Oh, what do we do?" So I think when they show up here, what is it, 4th of July weekend? We just got to make it loud for them. Don't need to boo, but we need to be loud.
Yeah, for sure. Let's be loud and proud, guys. I hope it's at 100% capacity. That should be a sellout. The day before Independence Day, is that right? July 3rd?
I think so. Yeah.
Listen, guys, if you can hear my voice right now or you see me from the video that we're going to have here, please, if you only come to one game, that's the one to come to. For real.
I mean, I think the big guy's even coming up. So, we got to,
we
got to heckle him. So,
yeah. He's going to get it. He's going to get it from us for sure. Absolutely. All right. Final word, one word association here. Guiltinis.
Just disgusting. Typical LA.
Yeah. Typical LA. Yeah. So there we go. All
right.
To all of the fans that are watching, they're going to be watching the video. This is not a beauty mark. I just happened to cut myself shaving, so I haven't gone Hollywood yet, guys.
Hey, man, I appreciate you clarifying that.
Yeah. Ross,
starting to wonder a little bit.
This has been a real pleasure, man. Let's do it again sometime. All right.
Absolutely. The pleasure's all mine, Phil. Thank you.
All right. So we got, of course, we say, one thing here to conclude the video. It's 2 words. 1, 2, 3. Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Yeah. All right.